Welcome, everybody. Dana Burkholder here. I'm with my good friend, Dr. Michelle Wolford. She's a licensed and board-certified naturopathic doctor. She utilizes both Eastern and Western medicine to facilitate healing in her adult and pediatric patients. She practices predominantly in San Diego and was named Best Naturopathic Doctor in 2015. She's an athlete by nature and a good friend. Today we will be talking about mirror neurons, finding balance, and listening to our bodies. Michelle, welcome.
Welcome. Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's an honor really to have you here with us. And I've learned a lot about mirror neurons and mirror neuron learning over the last couple of years, and I thought we would talk a little bit about how to help these athletes still continue their development online by watching high-level athletes and coaches train athletes and then repeating those actions themselves.
Okay, absolutely. So in our brains, if you can imagine, you've got the cell that watches what's happening in the outside world, and it absorbs that as information, and it tells your body, I can do that. This is how I'm supposed to function. And so it's a way that we take in information. So for example, kids learn to walk because they watch somebody else walking. And so they look and they observe and they see how it's done. And eventually they try and they get up and they stumble and then they try again and they try again until they are in fact walking. And so we see this over and over again, that us as humans, we're observers, and then we take in that information and then we begin to reenact whatever we see. So we could use this for us or we could use it against us, right? If we see everybody shifting into fear and to panic, it alerts the fear center of our brain, the amygdala, and says, oh, I should be afraid and I should be panicking. And so then all of a sudden our mirror neurons say, I need to mirror what I'm seeing and have the exact same response. It's a survival mechanism that's built into us so that we can continue evolving and keeping up with what we see around us, okay? But positively, what we can do is, let's say take some of your younger volleyball players. Maybe they haven't really played much. They're maybe peppering with a friend on the beach, and maybe it's not a true pepper, right? Maybe their parent is throwing them a volleyball and saying, this is how you hold your hands just to hit it back. And they don't know what they're doing. And then eventually, as they start watching other people or other players, they're picking up moves. They're actually teaching their body that kinesthetic movement through observation. And then they go and they try it out themselves. So of course, it's always fun to be in the gym and to play a game or to train. But right now, the game is really to train our brains, which is actually training our physical body on how we can improve this physical expression of a particular skill. There's been a lot of scientific studies that have been done over the years, watching how they'll stick people in two rooms, right? You're in one room and I'm in another right now. And they basically say, okay, Dana, I'm going to have you play this ballad. And then they'll say, okay, Michelle, you're not really going to play the ballad, but this is actually the motion that you would be going through. I want you to just visualize what it looks like to play it in your head. And so they've done studies like this where somebody's physically practicing 100% of the time, and somebody maybe physically practiced and then shifted to a mental practice. And they actually find that the people that physically learned a skill and then moved it into a mental, emotional, fine tuning actually performed a lot better. And so this, in a way, to see the gift and everything that's happening is what an opportunity to give our physical bodies a moment in time to pause, to rest, to rejuvenate, and to be able to strengthen the mental capacities so you can really ingrain, not just on a physical layer, but also on a mental emotional layer, this skill set when you're learning how to bump, set, or spike. I don't know if you watch film with your players, but for years, as an athlete, I know that after a game, we would always spend the first 20 to 30 minutes of practice watching film. And the coach would always point out wow, did you see how they went up and spiked this one, or did you see? And they would zoom in and they would watch the body mechanics of good play. And then we would sometimes watch the body mechanics of what wasn't as great of a play so that we could actually say, oh, okay, body, that wasn't as fluid of a motion as it could have been. If you move your body like this, you would have a more successful fill in the blank. So when you watch film or watch other professionals coaching somebody or watch an actual athlete performing, you're actually absorbing. That's the mirror neuron piece, is you're watching it happen and you're taking that information in.
Yeah, it's just incredible how the body can process that information, within the brain state and then teach the body how to make those movements and memorize them without the physical activity. What is it about our body that has that memory in it, and how can players encourage that type of development?
I do think that what I've heard you say that you want to put together is just that. I mean, you're kind of saying to your athletes, like, you're amazing. I see the skill in you. I see the room for improvement in you. You love the game. And let's keep you connected. Let's keep you connected to the thing that you love that feeds part of your purpose right now in life and feeds the joy in your life. And let's just learn how to exercise a different part of the body. So the brain doesn't mean they can't go out and throw a ball up against a wall and practice doing, their skills. And I mean, you can spike against the wall, comes back and spike again, right? You can, dig side to side, you can set with the wall. I mean, I played volleyball, so it's like, there's ways that you can play with yourself. And then of course there's other ways that you can condition your physical body. But right now, I mean, it's like, this is kind of exciting. Like, let's take advantage of the mental game, because this piece is not as much, mirror neurons. I mean, the watching is to teach the body as mirror neurons, but also the visualization of rewatching yourself is actually just really embedding that neural pathway even more, because that brain has a link to your muscles. And so I don't know if your students have heard a lot about muscle memory, but like, there's memory in your muscles that say, yeah, I remember that when I see something coming in this direction and I have the intention to do this, this is the end result. So there's just so much power in the mental game of anything.
Yeah, that's such incredible information and insight. Thank you for sharing that. And
Yeah.
my thought process is just that this is really an opportunity for all of us to um, design ourselves into our best version of ourselves and to really become extraordinary. It's extremely rare in our fast-paced culture to have the time to spend thinking about yourself, thinking about your habits, being able to slow down enough to maybe make some different choices. A lot of times when we're going fast, or we're really hungry, we make bad choices because we don't have the time to really think and make a good choice. And now we have that available to us. And if we can get access to really good information, like speaking to experts like you, and a lot of people on our staff in terms of volleyball knowledge, and lots of other people that are really bringing a new light and new information to the world, it can really be a game changer for us. And so why not use this opportunity to change our inner game and to change our outer expression and just become bigger and better. So we'll see what's on the other side of all this, but I know it's going to be people like you sharing your advice, and that'll really make the difference. So we're so grateful for having you today. And
Yeah, thank you so much.